Yes.
You're just a really great guy, man. I really enjoyed the show.
Oh, thanks, man. Thank you so much for coming.
I'm going to try to repeat questions. I realize, especially because we're filmed today, probably the camera might not capture, so he thinks you're a really great guy, and just thanks for coming.
Very kind, very kind.
Anyone else and awesome.
What's your favorite hockey team?
Favorite hockey team?
Dude. I wish I knew anything about sports.
Oh my.
But you know what I will say, because I lived in Toronto for a long time, it is not the Maple Leafs. I used to drink at a Habs bar, so I guess the Habs. Cricket team, Windies. Brian Lara, man.
Sorry, maybe we'll do hands because we're heating up here. I heard, where do you live in Toronto? And then we'll come down.
Sorry,
Where did you live in Toronto when you were?
Toronto. I lived in the worst part of Toronto, which was right by the Sky Dome. It had this horrible development called City Place. I mean, it's fancy or whatever. Like my parents had a place there because I lived with my parents till I was 30 years old, like a proper brown guy. But yeah, so that's where I was. But I mainly hung out like around like Annex and a little bit in the East End. I used to work out there. Met Wesley there. So yeah.
Who made the jacket?
That is made by Anahita Debonahi, who is our designer, and she also negotiated like a mother for this thing. We went to the Little India, and like we went at opening, and she was like, and just like a whole level of negotiation that I could not even fathom. So we got a great deal on it.
And it looks great on you.
Right?
What was the age that precipitated that kind of made you jump from the I want to be a Nova Scotian boat to I want to be on the Hindu boat?
Yeah.
I'm into my culture because I rode that boat. I get what you're saying.
I mean, like, I think, like, it's both, too, right? Like, I think, like, probably kind of after this 9/11 stuff went down, like, honestly, is when I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Hindu it is. But still, I maintained the Nova Scotia thing. Like, when I left Nova Scotia, I was super proud of it. Like, one of the first photos I have of myself in Toronto was, like, by this big Alexander Keith's, like, painted thing, reluctantly exported from Nova Scotia. Because I'm still proud of it. Like, it's hard not to be. It's kind of the culture.
You ride two boats, right?
Exactly.
Depending where you are.
Scotian goes hard, man.
Question up in the back there.
Now, is it chicken curry or curry chicken?
Well, okay. Now, I don't eat chicken, so I can't say. But what I would say is it's curry chicken. Because what are you doing to the chicken? You're currying the chicken, man. So. Okay, we got all right.
Everything was fine until that.
This was the thing that made people walk out.
Take your party hat.
Usually it's the hockey question that gets me.
Yeah. Is there a question up in the balcony? I can't totally see you, but is someone raising their hand?
One over here too.
Okay, great. Yeah. Oh, here. Yeah.
Hi.
I'm just wondering how your family and your parents feel about the show.
They're big fans of it. Like they're really supportive. I'm really lucky. I think I lucked out big time with my family. Also, I mean, like when we moved here, like we didn't know anybody, and they're not very social. Parents don't much care for other people. But yeah, I mean, like they're really happy about it. Especially, I think, like being able to talk about the Indo-Caribbean legacy history. Because it's not really published much, or it's not a whole lot of information about it. Actually, like one of the more recent publications about it, my dad wrote. So he was working on that my whole life, kind of trying to collect like the history of how we got sure to that and that kind of thing. So it's pretty meaningful for him. And I think like the Hindu stuff is weirdly like perhaps more meaningful to my mom. And I say weirdly, she grew up Christian because she went to one of those schools. And so had to convert. So I think that for her, being able to see some of this stuff means a lot. So yeah, and then my brothers, like man, one of my brothers is like a scholar of post-colonial, like you know, like he teaches at Dal. He's super into it. Arguably too much, but like yeah, he's really in. So yeah.
Awesome.
Not a question, but rather a
being a Hindu and moved to Nova Scotia like a year back. I have also stayed with my parents, although I don't look like I am 32. But yeah, so I've stayed with them for like good 30 years and now moved here. I'm pretty happy, to be honest. Yeah, from bottom of my heart, honestly. And yeah, the comparison of the whole concept with that Hinduism thing, which included every god and everything with that journey thing, and was amazing, man. Just on point.
Thank you.
Person here, yeah.
Was this whole play scripted, or did you kind of do something?
It's pretty scripted. It was developed through a lot of improv. So like the way it would work is I had my two buddies, Tom and Graham, who were on the outside most of the time. Tom, for the most part, Graham would be there pretty often. And so I'd kind of like have points, like point forms written down. Like, okay, this story hit this, and then I just kind of get up and just go. And then we just kind of shape it from there. But at this point, it's pretty thoroughly scripted. Like, there's maybe like a little bit, like certainly that part where I'm like, who are you? Like, that's really depends on how you guys are feeling. So there's that. But for the most part, it stays pretty tight to a script now. Yeah.
If there's any left, you can buy the script and come back tomorrow and like follow along and see how much it's.
There's a bunch of footnotes in there too.
Oh, great.
Closed caption.
Is there someone other question? I'm not sure. Someone started. Maybe it's up there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it upsets some people. You know, I think like because people kind of feel a bit fragile about it. Like I think that's how I would characterize it because I don't want to pass any judgment on people. But like, you know, I've been yelled at a few times, more than a few times about it. Where we just did it in Dartmouth, my old geography teacher came up to me as he was leaving, and it was like, "Hey man, I'm an old white man and I feel this too, and this is revenge." And then he never came back. I was like, man, if you came back, there's a punchline about that. But yeah, you know. But it's about, for me, it's really about like, do you experience something like this? It's not about race. It's not about gender. It's not about. It's just about that feeling. So anybody who feels it should feel welcome to stay. So I think like when people get angry about it, often they feel like they're being consciously excluded, and probably that because they do feel something like that, and they feel like now they're not welcome, which is hard. So yeah. Anyway, I'll say yes, most definitely. Yeah.
So sorry.
Yeah.
The scene after 9/11 when you talked about, you know, how your teacher looked at you and all, you know,
Yeah.
and you got beat up later. Is that true or is that?
Yeah.
Or you talk about script? I'm just asking.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, like, it's true. It's I will say, like, you know, timeline-wise, it kind of compressed up a little bit. Like, so it's like I did set up. I don't know how it comes across, but like it sounds like it was like, and that night, you know.
Yeah. No, but the way your teacher looked at you, like that's really deep.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And same with the blood mixing with the soil, and you couldn't be even more Nova Scotian. Like with that was also very deep.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't really know what to say, but yeah, that went down. Yeah.
When did you realize you wanted to be an artist?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I don't know. Like, I always kind of liked art. I never actually saw a play until I was in a theater program, actually, though, weirdly. I never grew up going to stuff. I mean, I would go to the art gallery. My parents would take me to the art gallery, so I liked that. But then I kind of like fell into the theater program. I was at U of T, and like the teacher, I took a survey course. The teacher was like, "Hey, you should audition." So I did, got in. Parents were probably not so thrilled about that because I was originally doing life sciences. But yeah, so I think there, and then like for me, like actually I remember actually putting the application together because I was like, man, I gotta find an angle here. But I thought about it, and the thing about doing art for me, doing theater performance, is it felt similar to when I was a kid, and I would go back to church to that and see my grandfather and my uncles doing puja. So like which prayers. So like they're all priests, and so like it would be like huge amount of people, like 200 people, and they're just out in the tent, and they're just like they're entertaining throughout the night. Like it's not like, I mean, I guess it's spiritual totally, but it's also very fun. And so that to me there was like, well, that I want to do that. Like I also know I'm supposed to do that, like by birthright, I guess, or whatever. So this was the closest way I could do that in this society. At least that's how I've been rationalizing to myself.
Have you seen Cliff Cardinal's new show?
Sure have, yeah.
Brilliant.
Fucking awesome.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And you reminded me a lot of what Cliff was doing here.
I will take that as a huge
Yeah.
compliment. I'll message Cliff later and be like, guess what, dude?
You're good too.
Yeah.
We probably have for one, maybe two questions, if anyone has, up here on the top.
Hey.
I'm from Korea.
Yeah! Yeah.
The question I have is because my husband and I recently invested in Parasram.
Yeah.
So we started talking.
Wait. You spent this is the part you choose to spend here. All right. Yeah.
Can I just have a mic?
Yeah.
Can you what?
Yeah. It is. Yeah.
The whole concept of being marginalized is
Is it?
something that I wasn't familiar with until I actually got Korea.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
When you go back to Trinidad, do you have that feeling that you would like to go back to Trinidad and live there?
I think about it a lot. My brother is there, and I haven't seen my brother since 2020. So, if anything, I want to see my brother and my cousin. Like my whole family's there. Yeah, I think about that a lot. I think about like, yeah. I guess so I'll answer two parts. When I go back, I'm very clearly a little bit. I'm an outsider, because even if I try to put on the accent, which you know, if I actually speak the way I actually speak, like when I'm home, like it's not quite like this, so it's somewhere in the middle. But I clearly have a Canadian accent when I'm speaking to Trinidadians. So that's that, and then I think the other part is just looking at like, well, what sector stuff is interesting, because I do want to. This is what I do, and I wonder sometimes about how viable that is there. I have done some work in Trinidad a little bit. And then the other part is like, it's just not safe these days. Trinidad is in a bad way. Yeah, and so in that way, I don't know if I can go back. I would like to, for so many reasons. Like I want to bring my partner. I want her to meet my family, but she passes as white, and so she's going to be a target. So I do not want her to get kidnapped. So stuff like that. I don't know. It's hard, but I mean, like if I could just hang on like Maracas Beach and eat doubles all day, man, that's what I would do. So yeah.
So basically that's your motherland and this is your workland.
I guess, yeah. Yeah, I guess, but yeah, it's hard to say what my motherland is. I have a show I'm kind of developing, which is thinking about motherland, and I think the thing about my people is that we don't actually have land. Like we're the Atlantic is our land, which is water. So it's weird. Yeah.
You've been to India?
No, man. I would love to go, but yeah. I have never been able to afford it and then have the time to take off, like, because I want to go for like a month at least.
Yeah.
It's far away.
True.
So, yeah.
Jim, it's the voice of God.
I'm here.
Hello.
Yeah, hi, how are you? We shouted here, we are Jim. And really, from my heart, I said that I am Jim because my story is very much like yours. I was born in another country. I was an immigrant all my life. First I was in Myanmar and then I came here. And I'm a physician, so my patients are all local. And I think they love me, and they call me father, dad. So the day you mentioned about the 9/11, I was on call in the ER, and we had a big, bad night. Just as the shift was ending, a couple of nurses came back to me and said, you know, life was very peaceful here until you guys came here. That hurt me so much. I went to the bathroom and cried. Yeah. So I'll tell you, I'm him too.
Oh, nice. Amazing. You're an incredible doctor,
Thank you. What a great note to end on. And for everyone, first of all, thank you, Jiv. Thank you all for staying with us till 9:30 on a Wednesday night. Amazing. I love that. We're here tomorrow and the next 3 nights and the Saturday afternoon too. So if you did enjoy the show, I know we say this every show, but it really is the truth, and it means even so much more now. You are our best chance of having at least this many people come every night, and this show deserves to be seen by at least this many people. So, thank you so much, Jiv. And we'll see you again soon. Thanks very much.